I'm so out of my comfort zone with this painting. I just feel the need to be transparent and honest because I don't always know what I'm doing. And I don't think anybody always knows what they're doing. And I think that's all right. Like I'm really experimenting right now with this piece, and I'll back up. It's going to be a landscape inspired by Giverny. Feel free to make fun of me. The gardens in France, where Monet spent the later years of his life planting flowers and painting. This is a commissioned painting for some dear friends of mine. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. And as I'm painting this, I'm like, you were crazy for taking this on because, like, I never paint in this style. I never use this much paint. Tubes of paint. Like, look at this. Look at how much paint. You can see the texture here. Oh, right there. So much paint. If they don't like it, it's a very expensive experiment that I'll have to figure out what to do with, but I'm really taking a chance here. In my gut, I'm like, I think they'll like it. Here's a time lapse of the painting so far. It kind of started out like psychedelic Dr. Seuss, and then I'm adding more detail and texture on top. These are the paints that I'm using, by the way. Only 8 colors and no greens. All of the greens are being created with cadmium yellow lemon, cadmium yellow deep, sometimes a little yellow ochre, cobalt teal, phthalo blue, and sometimes a little ivory black. All right, I'm gonna put the camera up to where I'm painting. These are my brushes. So these are like, this is a good reason to hang on to your old brushes because, you know, when they start sort of losing their shape, they still have value, like for stuff like this when you just want to add a bunch of texture. So don't throw out your old brushes. Just put them to the side. So let's get started. I'm gonna do so I have one brush for each puddle of paint. And I'm gonna use the light green brush, and I'm gonna just grab some paint like that. Big old chunk. And just add some paint in here. Do you guys want some music? I want some music. Let me see what I can find. Okay, we're gonna paint the water now, and grab my color palette. So over here, I basically moved the remainder of the colors that I used for the willow tree off to the side, and now I'm gonna mix colors like a dark olive green for right in here. But I kept these colors so that I could put in like highlights, basically bringing the landscape into the water. To make the olive green, I'll mix a lot of the cadmium yellow lemon with a little cadmium yellow deep, some yellow ochre, a touch of phthalo blue, and then ivory black. I've made a fair amount of this color, and I'm going to separate it out into 3 little piles, and I'm going to make variations. So I'll add yellow ochre to one to make a lighter olive green that's a little more bronzy, and then I'll add ivory black to the other pile to get a darker olive green, and then I'll make another pile and make an even darker olive green by adding a lot more ivory black. I'll make some pink too, why not? Those lily pads in the water are pink. It's crazy to me how little magenta it takes to tint a huge pile of titanium white into pink. And I'll separate it out just like the other olive green pile, and I'll add a little cobalt teal to get purple. And then I'll make another little pile and add a little more magenta and some yellow ochre to get a slightly reddish color. Alright, first putting down some of the dark olive green right along the coastline, and now some of the medium olive green, and some of the leftover green from the willow trees. Now adding some of the pink, kinda trying to figure this out. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work too well. I think what I need to do is put down the green first and let it dry a little bit and then come back with the pink. If I try to do them at the same time, I have a feeling it's just gonna turn into a muddy mess. So I'm just gonna get all of the existing pink off now with a palette knife and start over. So here's a quick time lapse of the water. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm going to remake the pink and do the lily pads. With the lily pads, I'm using a round brush, a size 4 round brush, and I'm making donut shapes. And these might be a little too thick, but I can go back and fix them later. Here's a time lapse, so you can see how they fill in the water. And then here's how the painting looks, finished. Or possibly finished. I shouldn't speak too soon before I hear what my friends have to say. I'm gonna send one of them a text right now to see if he's free to come look at the painting. He just rang the doorbell and I'm about to go answer, but he hasn't seen any of this and I'm kind of nervous. But I also want to catch his reaction, so I have to sneaky film.
Wow. I love it. How fabulous. I love this little patch, just a little bit of orange peeking through. I love the bare branches on that tree going at the center.
It's wet, but yeah, get as close as you want.
And you know, you caught one of the things that I love about abstract is, you know, this leads your eye to what's beyond the trees. What's beyond the tree. You've hit all the colors for me.
I'm glad.
I mean, the blue sky, the purple trees, the green trees.
That's beautiful. I assume it's this one, right? You got us. I mean, I see how this was influenced by us.
I'm gonna cheers.
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 To a great collaboration.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for pushing me out of my comfort zone. I'm so happy that they're happy. That's all I really wanted. And I had a lot of fun making this painting.